Hi, everybody. Have you ever felt like you really wanted to try art and you didn't know where to start or what products to use or paints to buy, that sort of thing? Well, this is Time for Art, and I'm your host, Hershey Petty. Welcome. If you're joining us for the first time, I just want to remind you that the theme for this month is tranquility. And so today we're going to be drawing the painting that we're going to be doing on Wednesday. This is the part of the lesson where we learn how to draw, not just paint, which is a really cool thing about our program. So the lessons here, drawing is just as much a part as the lesson as the painting. We have the Monstera leaves today, and let's see, where was I? Here we go. Oh, and if you're joining us live today, please don't forget to interact with us in the comments section. That's the only way that we know that you're here. And I also want to do a special shout out while we're on the topic to Julie Crary from Crown Point, who's been our star. She's hit every single one of our live streams. So hi, Julie. I know she won't show up in the comments, but we just want to make sure we say hi. And if you aren't joining us live and you're watching this another time, keep in mind that we have 2 live streams every single week. We do it on Monday and Wednesday nights, and we learn to draw and paint, and we do lots of other, we learn lots of other techniques and skills that really come in handy when you're on your art journey. So please join us. We'd love to see you there. And the first rule, or what did I say? The only rule is that there are no rules. Have fun with this. You're welcome to try to keep up if you'd like with the artist as she goes through the Monstera leaf today and how to draw it and scales and sizing and perspective, or you're welcome to just follow along and listen and enjoy yourself and try to digest everything that she's saying and interact with the artist community via our Facebook Live, so on our Facebook page. So whatever you want to do, it's totally fine. Have a good time no matter what, and please don't forget to say hi to us in the comments. And the template challenge. Every single month you will get a book of templates that comes with your kit, and this month, and we do a challenge every month. And so this month, with these templates, you're going to want to tell a story. So which one of these that you want to use, you'll take them out, you'll do it right inside your art journal, and tell us a story. Tell us a story about a time when you were meditating, or a time when you were at a day spa, or when you were at the Ruth out there, if you're there, at the gem show in Tucson. Maybe you were at the gem show in Tucson. You don't know, So tell us a story. And as always, these template challenge drawings and paintings are due the last Friday of the full week of the month. So let's see. And without further ado, let's say hello to our resident artist, Allison Crary. Hi, Al.
Hi, Hershey. How are you?
Oof. I rushed through that opening. I was like, this is my second time doing an opening like that. So it was different.
Beautiful. So it is my favorite, which is a Monday draw day. And we are drawing Monstera. And so I feel like, Hershey, this actually takes me back to the time that you and I did the botanical show at the Botanic Gardens in Chicago. And it was my very first art fair, and it was all botanical paintings, and Hershey was the mayor of the art fair and got everybody. And did all the things, and came into Chicago from California for me, and it was artwork like this. I think that botanic art is some of the most beautiful art, that nature has the most beautiful compositions with grace and symmetry and color, and simplifying them like this just on a basic, neutral background is a really nice way to show that off. So I'm excited to get to draw this today, and sitting and drawing is actually absolutely my very favorite thing in the world to do. So let's get going. So I'm going to keep this right here, and you're going to want to get out your references.
Yes.
Do we want to do both of these? Give me just 1 second. We should have had both of these out.
You're gonna need just this guy today. Sorry, my background's getting it. You're this guy here, and then this guy, which is goes on top of it, the grids. That way.
And then I grabbed this one. Here we go. You need 2 grids. Not 1 grid.
Oh, that's right.
There we go. You need your grids. You need your pencil. you need your sketchbooks. You need your graphite paper, labels or tape, whatever you're using, and your sharpeners. And let's get started. So the first thing we're going to do is take one of our acetate grids and kind of anchor that guy in place. It doesn't need to be quite as precise as when we're doing like a template transfer or an outline transfer for painting. And we're going to tuck this underneath. And we are going to basically just sort of imprint all of our crosshairs. So
you don't draw the whole line? I do.
We are going to, well, we don't really.
Oh, you're right. If you use the graphite paper, it's harder to erase.
Yeah, but I'm going to go ahead and imprint these middle ones too, just for marks to see how I like that this time. Just like that. Take this guy off. We're done with it for the moment. And we're just going to see how having these little marks right here helps us. It might not. We're going to try. See what I mean? Just a few more points. And
that's a lot less to erase at the end.
Exactly. And so then we're going to do there's a raging thunderstorm going on.
Is there really?
In Chicago, Illinois. Yes.
How exciting.
I love a storm. So if you hear it, that's what's going on. And I've got Marvin in here right now. Believe it or not, he's not loving it.
Marvin.
If you can imagine, he got his shots today. So there's that. So he's feeling a little yucky.
Yeah. That's a tough day. That's a tough day for Marvin.
It's not his favorite. Okay, so here is the deal. We are going to go ahead and draw these without tracing a grid, because that's the lesson learned, is that we kind of do the grids in our brain, and that's kind of the way you get stronger as an artist, right? That said, we're going to drop our grids when we check our work, just like this. And we'll have that to kind of go from. So just dropping a few little marks in the middle, though, isn't the worst thing to do, just to see if that helps us orient ourselves. So we're going to get started drawing. And we're looking at these thirds, right? And we have these two Monstera leaves. And I think the way we're going to get started is with these kind of center stem veins. So if this one starts about 2/3 up, right here, and ends about 1/3 over right here, I'm going to just sort of follow this line down like this. It comes to kind of a narrow point on top, like this. A little too wide through here.
You know, Allison, I just want to echo what you said earlier about nature and botanicals. Like sometimes I am shocked at the colors that appear naturally in nature. Man doesn't have to do anything, and the colors just appear.
I was listening to this podcast about how there's certain animals that can see ultraviolet. And that's more colors than we can ever see. And I had this enormous jealousy that there's colors I can't see. If you are that tuned into it, it was hard for me. So, okay. So I'm just going to check my work here early on. So the stem is definitely completely in this box up until here. So actually I'm going to bring this over a little bit. Just like that. And kind of crosses right around here. Who have we got on, Hershey?
So far, we've got Melissa and Caroline and Ruth, and of course, Julie, even though if you guys are out there and you don't see Julie in there, I promise you she's there.
Yes. Excellent. Well, hello to everybody.
I feel like I could hear her from Crown Point, Indiana, screaming, hello, hello.
She is definitely saying hello to us. All right. That's that stem. This stem, if you look at, kind of topples off right around here. So we're gonna see this V. See how this is some negative space that can help us?
Yes.
I'm gonna start right around here. We're gonna come up and over like this. And then this little twisty, if we go over like this, kind of ends about halfway up here and starts about right here. So I'm gonna put this little twisty in just like this around here. All right. That is, I'm just gonna make it a little bit wider.
Hey, are you getting rain with your thunderstorms or is it just thunderstorms?
I hear the thunder. I don't know if I hear the rain.
Because it's not a given, right?
Not a given. We could just get thunder if you're raining someplace else. All right, so this ends about, so I'm too far over here. It's gonna end about right here. And then our monstera leaf, it's still too far over.
I wanted to share my monstera. I think Melissa's on right now watching. When I first moved into my apartment in Long Beach, Melissa gave me a housewarming gift of a cutting of her monstera leaf or her monstera plant, just 2 little leaves. And now it's grown into 11 leaves. It's gigantic. It's amazing. And I want to share it.
We'd love to see it. Are you putting it in the chat?
Yeah, I'd like to. I'm trying to figure out how to do that.
All right, well, while Hershey figures that out, we're going to pay attention to this negative space right in here. So this comes over like this, up like this. This line kind of hits right here. We're paying attention to where it ends up here and crosses over here. I'm a little high. And so this, to make this negative space, kind of comes around like this. And then kind of spits out on this side right here. And then this comes, this kind of shoulder right here. Comes around like this. Over like this. And that is, if you're looking at this negative space, close to, so this shape right here kind of looks like this shape right here. It's pretty close. And
it looks a little bit like the state of Minnesota.
Does it? Is that what the state of Minnesota looks like?
I know.
You could have told us. All right. So over here, we're going to follow this line over this way. We're not going to do the little cutouts yet. Okay. So I'm going to draw this line around here like this and over like this. So it kind of comes up like this, down like this, and around like that. Can everybody see that?
Yeah, your lines are dark enough for sure.
Good, good, good. And then same thing down here. So this little twisty, this junction right here, we're gonna figure out where that is. That's up like, that's right here. So we're gonna make sure this comes up like this, down like this. And I'm just gonna make this one line for now. I'm just gonna connect these and we'll get the very
detail later. Yeah.
In a minute. So there we go there. Same thing over here. I'm going to do this whole area and then we'll do the cutouts. So this ends right about here. So we're going to come around like this. This comes almost to the edge over here, around here, like this, and around like that. It's a good time to check our work. And how are we going to check our work? We're going to
drop the grid.
Yes, we are. So
Also, it's a good time to say hi to Michelle Poor, who joined us.
fantastic. Welcome. All right. So if you can see, can everybody see through these?
Yeah. See, it's
This
really
is
good.
pretty good for me. This, there's more negative space here. So I'm going to kind of make that adjustment right now. Just like that. Just like that. So there's more negative space here. This is actually looking pretty good for what we're going for here. This kind of comes, this hits a little bit lower on mine. Make my adjustment, and obviously yours is going to look a little different like mine. I'm just going to show you how I'm making these adjustments, and then we'll dig in and get our other marks. This is kind of I don't want to say way off, but all of this in here is in this quadrant, and I missed that. So I'm going to make myself a mark.
Wait, I'm sorry, I wasn't looking. When you say all of this is here, where?
So see this major chunk that's in, and I don't want to say quadrant, in this center third.
Yeah.
I missed that completely. So yep. I'm gonna drop that in. And quite frankly, not enough.
It's the grids, man.
They just help. And we're not completely doing it this way, but it's just a good way to get, to get going.
Mm-hmm.
This could use a little more in this quadrant. This dips down more for me than the way I did it.
Is there a little bit of like creative license? Like, remember when we were doing the polytrons,
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I'm just showing you, the example here is I'm showing you how I fix my work. How important that is? Not very. Don't have to do the same thing. But this is the, if we're doing this to practice and to learn, this is how I fix my work. Not necessarily grids, but you do the back and forth and you like, okay, I'm a little short here. I need a little bit more there. And we'll go from there. So then after I do this, I try and get rid of all my stray hairs and work with a cleaner line. Just like that. And if you want to leave one grid there, because we made our little marks in the middle, do you still see them right here, right here, right here?
Kinda, yeah.
Right here. That can help us when we go to draw these kind of cutouts, right? So if this quadrant's right here, we know that this cutout kind of happens right here. This one is kind of right here. This one,
oh man,
kind of comes around this way. Right here, this is this kind of overlap where you see the underside of the leaf. That's right here. And there's this kind of highlight white area that certainly is a shape that we can draw in. Right like that. A little bit here.
Oh, that's great.
Over here. And this one, this is one of those drawings that will just kind of come together.
You're right.
And we're getting close. So this, again, if we have this mark right here, and that's this mark right here, this comes over and down and around and up like that. And that's kind of the only cutout I think on this one. And so then
it's a big one, but that's the only one.
Yeah. So I'm going to kind of, again, get rid of my stray hairs here. Drawing in some of the white areas around here.
I'm going to save these grids and put them on pictures or anything that I need to draw, because I never do that. I only ever use these grids with us.
And I don't want you to think you always have to do it, but if that can help you, use it. And that's kind of the whole point.
Yeah. Well, and I think too, if you're trying to recreate if you're looking at a photo or something and you're really trying to redo that and paint that photo, these really do help.
Absolutely. So I'm going to put in this highlight right here. And then I'm going to take the grids away and let's get putting in our values. So a really good way to start in this case is we're just going to put in our base value of this kind of gray tone. And as soon as I do that, I realize I should have done a better job of defining my stem here. So I'm going to do that. And I'm trying to look to see, you can't really tell in this image which stem is in front. So it looks like I made this one go behind, however you want to do it. That works. And I'm just going to kind of lightly, because it's kind of this medium gray, work in our background tone. Just like this.
Speaking of the background tone, I don't think we've ever done this kind of a gray background tone before. So when we go to paint on Wednesday, I'm super interested to see.
We have our Payne's gray.
Right. But we've never done anything like that before.
Yes, you're right.
Yeah.
Our background has never just been a value.
It really hasn't.
No, so this is a little bit different. It's kind of a portrait of some monstera leaves. Like they went to the picture people. It's like a couple's portrait.
It's a really, I mean, it's a whole different style when it's almost like there's no emphasis on the background at all.
No, it's just, it's about the leaves. It's about the movement. It's about, I think monstera leaves kind of float. And that's something I love about botanicals is that they all have a certain weightlessness to them, but they almost catch the air a little bit differently. And if an artist can portray that, I think that's a special kind of note to hit.
Yeah. The values and the greens, that's going to be fun also on Wednesday.
Absolutely. All right, so we've got our background tone in. And then Hershey, what do you think our darkest darks are?
Darkest darks are going to be the stems.
Okay, so let's get that in. So that's probably going to be as dark as our pencil gets. All right, next darkest dark.
Next darkest dark is going to be the leaf on the right. Some of the shadow parts of that leaf.
So like maybe this whole region around here.
Yeah.
There's a little bit of variation in that, but for these purposes, since our pencil's kind of limited, we can only get so dark. I'm gonna put all of that in as darkest dark.
And you know what I was thinking when I was drawing this earlier, because I cheated. I drew this earlier today at work when I was
cheating, Hershey Patty.
It's not cheating. Yeah.
No.
Well, I guess I should have been focusing on work and I was focusing on the art. But I was thinking to myself about now I just lost my train of thought. It was something about the tones of how we were going to do that. And I can't remember what I was thinking now. Anyways, it'll come back to me.
All right, so I'm getting in this edge right here and this little tip. And I'm just going to go back and redefine the edges here. Just like this. Around here. And underneath here is pretty dark along the slime. All right, how about over here, Hershey? What are our darkest darks?
On the left side of the leaf, you've got some pretty dark darks, and on the right side, heading up, like starting at the bottom, and then again, like I would say at like 1 o'clock, if it were a clock.
Yeah. So we're gonna hit these around here. Right around here. Around here. There's some dark darks. This edge, you mentioned that. This region down here is one of our darkest darks.
Looks really good, Al.
Hey, thanks, Hershey.
I was thinking how stylized it looks when you don't pay it, when you like purposely make the background not there.
It's kind of mod.
Yeah, it is.
All right. Maybe if you hold your pencil a little differently to get a little bit of a darker dark. I'm holding it like this. All right.
Oh, and you know, one more thing too, on Wednesday, do you think, looking at this painting, do you think we'll start with the darkest darks first, or the light, like how are we going to do it on that day?
So we will, but there's a little bit of color. So this is a monochromatic painting. This is green plus the Payne's gray.
Right.
And green plus white. And there's a few techniques to get there. So we'll put in our background and we'll like kind of hit the variation, and then we'll put in we'll kind of wash in everything, and then we'll build up from there. But yes, we will start with our dark and kind of work backwards. Okay. And so just to kind of bring all this together, this kind of middle tone is sort of everywhere else. It's darker than our background. That isn't because the light and shadow is so high contrast on this. If everywhere else, you have some leaf that isn't the highlight. So right around here, around here, certainly darker than the background. So make sure we hit that around here. Up in here. This. Here.
These Monday draw days are getting easier for me. You know, like I feel like
it's a muscle, and once you start working it, you can't.
I also think the grids help.
Well, it's just a way to get your bearings.
Right, which I think is a lot of, you know, where I'm at in my art journey. I think that's a lot of the time where I spend is like erasing because I've not looked at things the right way.
Yeah.
And these set me straight right from the jump.
Yeah, and so it just helps a little bit, and you can use it as much, or if it messes with you and it's not good for you, stop. All right, so our values are just about right there. I'm just going to kind of clean this up. So I want a really nice, even edge. Along here. Just like this, dark on this edge. I'm just kind of following along because we've done the hard work. And any variation I can pick up on, I'm going in for. This nice highlight that I didn't quite catch that I'm going to make sure I come back around on the next time. Something over here.
The monstera is a hardy plant.
It is.
Yeah.
I think it's a little bit of mystery too.
Yeah,
With
I mean,
open
some of
veins.
the leaves, yeah, some of the leaves with the plant that Melissa gave me, her leaves, I don't think ever got, or had the holes that mine do, like it does cool different things in different environments.
Yeah. And then our darkest darks are kind of along this edge of this leaf right here. Definitely does. Around here, along this edge right here. Down here. Around. Down here. Dark down here. Along here. This has a little bit of variation to it that I missed the first time. Along.
Oh, I wanted to say too, Ruth out there, if you're joining us today, I'd love to know what your thoughts are about the negative space in this painting. I remember last month she had she wanted to.
She had some really cool things to say about negative space. She did.
She did.
And so I think some of these botanical paintings, you get some really interesting shapes. Like I think this shape in the negative space is a very interesting shape.
Yeah.
I think some of this is kind of cool, and how this kind of works with the center plane and how it's off a little bit. So I'm just kind of evening out my background, almost in a cross-hatching way. I'm coming in a different direction than the overwhelming stroke I had before. And Hershey, definitely creative license to make your leaves however you want. I am just going to kind of show you some of the troubleshooting I do.
Yeah.
Well,
that's what the grids are for. You're right. That's what the grids are for.
And then use them as much or as little as you'd like. I'm going to kind of, I feel like we flew through this one today.
We sure did.
Not going too fast though. Just, it's one of those, I clean up this edge.
I think we'll spend a little more time on it when we're trying to match these colors and the tone.
Oh, definitely. This is, but this is going to be another one of those paintings that the heavy lifting is in the light and shadow.
Yep.
And since we figured some of that out tonight, if you're drawing with us, you will have the heads up on.
Yeah, it doesn't seem so daunting if you just draw out the shapes like you were just mentioning.
Yeah.
You draw shapes of the dark parts, the shapes of the light parts, and then.
Yeah. And it all comes together.
Mm-hmm.
And these are not, I don't want to say they're tricky, but I don't think these are oversimplified for a beginner artist. I think these are very much,
I would agree,
compositions, and I'm just really proud of our group for embracing it and doing such a good job.
Yeah, right. I agree with that 1,000%. These are not oversimplified.
Nope. Somebody get a little darker here. And ladies and gentlemen,
are you? Yeah. I mean, let me see. Let me hold it up. Yeah, looks good.
We could make it harder, but I don't think we need to.
Yeah.
I'm gonna I think this stem kind of in the middle, the center vein, got a little lost on mine. Looking at that, I can do a better job of kind of putting that in, maybe. But I'm gonna go ahead and call these done.
Call it done.
That's where we are. Maybe better.
I'm not too far behind you.
Maybe better to find my borders.
Question, do you need to fill it when you're just doing these kind of pencil drawings, whatever, could you leave the background just unshaded, or does it need a tone?
So you can do anything. The reason I try and match the tone is because that informs the rest of the drawing. Because value and color are relative, this is a tool to help you get to where you need to be. But other answer is, this is
sure.
You just want to draw the leaves, have at it.
Yeah.
But for example, your white areas, we can go in and kind of.
Oh, you're right, because there's
But
white areas, so you have to
your
leave
white
those.
areas are whiter than your background. And that's why
Excellent.
we fill in your background a little bit differently. We'll hit our whites. All right, I'm liking this. I'm gonna go ahead and sign mine. And yeah, 35-minute drawing, not too bad, guys.
Not too bad at all. And we're all more prepared for Wednesday.
All the more prepared for Wednesday. Thanks for drawing with us. Wednesday, we're painting this guy. We're painting this guy with our green deep, our canvas panel, our Payne's gray, and our outlines, and our graphite paper. We're gonna transfer it. Our template challenge, like Hershey was saying, it's some of these guys. Our tranquility, our yoga poses.
Yes.
Botanical.
There's, I kind of
era.
Yeah, I'm a little bit jealous that this month is the template challenge is the story for this month, because there have been some really great stories to have been told in the templates that we've gotten in past months.
We will revisit story. We're just going kind of story in the macro, like
yeah.
Story. So we'll better define that. And yeah, we will see you next week. No, next week. Next
Wednesday.
On Wednesday for painting, and it'll be painting these guys. And I think we talked about this theme really lends to home decor. So I think everyone's gonna really like having this one for their home. It's a really beautiful.
Right. Take the extra time this month and do everything is really great. Take a little bit extra detail, because you're gonna want to hang these. You're 100% right.
Hang these or gift these or keep these, and this will be really. This is beautiful in any home, in any room, in any home. I think it'll be really great. Well, thank you guys for painting with us, drawing with us tonight, and we'll see you Wednesday.
Bye, Allison. I hope Marvin survives the thunderstorm.
Oh yeah, I don't really hear it anymore. Poor Marvy. All right. Good night, everybody.
Bye.
Take care. Bye.